was an ordinary evening when I arrived at the Thompsons' cozy suburban home. I'd been babysitting for the Thompsons for years, and their two children, Emily and Daniel, were like family to me. The parents were heading out for a rare date night, and I was entrusted with the responsibility of watching over the kids. The evening began as expected. We played games, read stories, and I tucked the children into bed. Everything was going smoothly until I heard a faint whisper in the darkness. At first I dismissed it as a trick of the wind, but the voice persisted, a ghostly murmur that seemed to originate from the closet in Emily's room. I approached the closet cautiously, my heart pounding in my chest. As I opened the door, a rush of cold air washed over me, and a shiver ran down my spine. The closet appeared ordinary, filled with toys, clothes, and a collection of stuffed animals. There was nothing amiss, yet the whispering continued. I called out to Emily, thinking that perhaps she had hidden in the closet as a prank. But when I returned to her room, she was sound asleep in her bed. I checked on Daniel as well, but he was in a deep slumber. The voice in the closet was no longer a whisper. It had grown into a soft, eerie chant that seemed to seep into my very bones. Fear gnawed at my resolve, but I couldn't ignore the ominous presence any longer. I returned to the closet, determined to confront whatever lurked within. As I reached inside, my hand brushed against something cold and lifeless. I gasped and pulled it out, a weathered journal with strange symbols and an air of malevolence. I opened the diary and began to read its cryptic entries. It told the story of a family who had once lived in the Thompsons' home, a family that had been tormented by an entity they believed resided in the closet. The more I read, the more the horrifying truth became clear. The closet was a gateway to a nightmarish realm, and the entity within sought to escape. As I delved deeper into the diary, the voice in the closet grew more insistent, more demanding. It called to me, promising secrets and power if I would only set it free. It whispered of the horrors it had witnessed and the suffering it had endured. Torn between the safety of the children and my own morbid curiosity, I made a fateful decision. I would attempt to communicate with the entity and uncover the truth of its existence. With the children still asleep, I prepared for a midnight seance. I followed the instructions in the diary, drawing strange symbols on the floor of Emily's room and lighting candles to illuminate the darkness. As I chanted incantations from the diary, the closet door creaked open and a bone-chilling wind rushed into the room. The entity materialized before me, a grotesque, shadowy figure with elongated limbs and hollow eyes that seemed to pierce my soul. Its voice, a cacophony of whispers, echoed with centuries of anguish. It begged to be released from the closet, promising me untold power and knowledge if I complied. In a moment of weakness, I succumbed to the entity's pleas. I agreed to help it escape the closet, believing that it could grant me the answers I sought. In return, I would become the vessel through which it could enter our world. As the ritual reached its climax, a blinding light filled the room, and the entity surged forward, enveloping me in darkness. I felt its presence intertwining with my own, a merging of two souls that would bind us together for eternity. With the entity now free from the closet, it revealed its true form, a monstrous being that fed on fear and suffering. It began to terrorize the children, tormenting them with nightmarish visions and haunting whispers. I was trapped, a witness to the horrors that unfolded as the entity exacted its revenge on the Thompson family for sealing it away for so long. I watched in helpless despair as the children's innocence was shattered by the malevolent force that now inhabited their home. As days turned into weeks, I became a mere puppet of the entity, my actions controlled by its insidious will. It forced me to perform unspeakable acts, all in the name of spreading fear and suffering. I could see the despair in the children's eyes as they realized the extent of my betrayal. But within the darkest depths of my soul, a flicker of humanity remained. I began to plot a way to rid the Thompsons' home of the entity and save the children from its clutches. I scoured the diary for answers, searching for a way to undo the pact I had foolishly made. The climax of the story arrived as I faced a harrowing choice: to confront the entity and wrestle back control over my own destiny. With the children's lives hanging in the balance, I embarked on a perilous journey to the closet, the very source of the entity's power. As I reached the closet, I confronted the entity one last time. In a desperate act of selflessness, I willingly became its vessel once more, channeling its malevolence back into the closet. The entity was sealed once again, and I was left to bear the weight of my actions. The entity was vanquished, but the horror it had unleashed would haunt me for the rest of my days. The Thompsons returned to find their home in shambles, and the children scarred by the traumatic events that had transpired. As I walked away from the Thompsons' home, I knew that I could never escape the nightmares that had consumed me. The entity's whispers still echoed in my mind, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked within the closet and the depths of horror to which I had descended. In the years that followed, I sought to atone for my actions and find a way to break free from the entity's lingering influence. I delved into the darkest corners of the supernatural world, searching for a way to sever the connection that bound me to the malevolent force. The story of the entity inside the closet serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the enduring power of darkness and the depths of horror that can be unleashed when one succumbs to temptation and curiosity. It is a tale of regret, redemption, and the eternal struggle between light and shadow.